Welcome back to Chugdi Football TV, back with another one on Chugdi Football TV. So this is my post-match reaction on the Real Madrid versus Manchester City game at the Santiago Bernabeu, the first leg. Listen, it was more of a Federico Valverde versus Manchester City rather than Real Madrid versus Manchester City. A very, very fantastic game, head-to-head game. Um, we know that we've seen this fixture, um, you know, so much, so many times at this point, and hopefully this is the last time we see this fixture in the Champions League for a very long time. I'm already tired of it. However, one thing you can always guarantee when it comes to this fixture is it's always going to be a blockbuster. It's always going to be a fixture where you're expected to see goals, you're expected to see skills, you're expected to see free flowing football. However, when from my recollection, for the most times that Real Madrid have faced Manchester City in the Champions League so far, in the past few years, maybe the past, I don't know, 5 years or whatever, for some reason, Manchester City have always been kind of tipped to dominate the game and win the game. And no, and it was the same um with this game. A lot of people were thinking that Manchester City were going to demolish Real Madrid, destroy Real Madrid, you know, do this and do that to Real Madrid, forgetting that this is Real Madrid. This is Real Madrid. That they say the Champions League is Real Madrid's heritage. This is Real Madrid. This is no small team. This is not Galatasaray or your local team. No disrespect to Galatasaray, but this is Real Madrid. And when it comes to the Champions League, we just seem to turn up. And for me, I didn't even get why people were making those assumptions, because even with us having a few important players injured at the moment, players like Jude Bellingham, Carrares, Kylian Mbappe, Militao, um, players as such. When you look at the Real Madrid team and the Manchester City team, there's no much difference. There's no much difference in any position where they are better than Real Madrid, even with all those players injured. When it comes to the keeper, to me, Donnarumma is not better than Courtois. You look at the defenders, Hoysen and Rudiger. City's defenders, to me, are not better than these guys. Do you understand? Like left back, right back, we can match them easily. Midfielders, we still have Kamavinga, Chouameni, Adegule, you know, uh, Petra, however his name is pronounced. Do you understand? Like we still have guys. So I didn't see when people were saying Manchester City were going to beat Real Madrid 4-0, 3-0. I was like, what are these people talking about? What are these people talking about? People are acting like, and people are acting like Real Madrid are like seventh on their league table. Madrid is second, and Manchester City too are second. I think the problem with people is that when they look at these teams, Real Madrid, Manchester City, they are looking at them from a nostalgic point of view. Those times when City were dominating under Pep, under when they had David Silva, when they had Vincent Company, Fernandinho, um, KDB, Aguero. They are looking at it from that nostalgia point of view, and also they are looking at Real Madrid from like them Ronaldo, Benzema, and all these guys. That time has passed. It has passed, but these teams are still. Manchester City are second on the table, so it's not like they are doing horrible. They are doing horribly. Yes, maybe they may have lost some games to some teams that you probably wouldn't expect them to lose to, but that is football. That is football. That doesn't mean that these teams are doing bad. So I didn't really see where people were coming from when they were saying that Manchester City was totally going to outclass Real Madrid. However, Real Madrid demolished Manchester City 3-0, and a hat trick by Federico Valverde. Let's talk about Federico Valverde. This guy is the engine room of Real Madrid. This guy is somebody that goes underappreciated, I feel. I call him the modern day Milner. This guy is one of those players that, because their game, they do more of the hard grafting. They are not the skillful silky type of players. They are not the um press darlings. They are usually not spoken about a lot, right? So yeah, I feel like if it was Vinny that scored a hat trick now, it would be a big thing. If it was Jude Bellingham that scored a hat trick, it would be like wow. If it was Mbappe, you know, guys such as this. But Federico Valverde, this guy he plays a multitude of positions. And one thing you have to one thing about Federico Valverde is this guy in every game. And first of all, this guy barely gets injured. He plays at least 98% of Real Madrid games. He plays a multitude of positions. He can play center back. He can play right back. He can play um, midfield. He can play six. He can play four. He can probably play 10. He can play the wing. This guy is everywhere. He's everywhere. He does the hard grafting. This guy is a workhorse. An example of a workhorse is what this guy is. But he doesn't get his credit. Players like this don't get his credit. Look at the goal he scored, the first goal he scored. Look at the control. Look at the control and the speed. The second goal, like a striker, like a proper number nine. And the third goal, the way he nicked that ball over Gehi and volleyed it. World class player. But he probably wouldn't get the credit he deserves because, like I said, he's not that flashy type of player. He's not the player that talks a lot in the media. They were out. Manchester City were totally dominated and stunned. Now we could have scored four in that game and just ended it there. We had a penalty that Vinicius missed, a very, very stupid penalty from him, a very, very foolish penalty. But the thing is that even the best of the best miss penalties. It happens. However, I would have liked Valverde to take that penalty and break history or create history to probably being the first player ever to score four in the Champions League against Manchester City. I would have loved for him to play that penalty, but as we see it, Vinicius played the pen and played a very, very useless pen. However, um, there are a lot of people that a lot of Madrid players I have to give kudos to. First of all, Valverde, of course, who was the man of the match, and if he's not your man of the match on that in for that game, then there's something wrong with your head. But Valverde, obviously, then Thibaut Courtois, who was incredible yesterday. Who else? Mendy played well. Adegoler played well. Even Vini played well. Um, who else? Uh, Chouameni had a very, very a very, very good game. Uh, then our boy Peter is that if that's how, I always have a problem pronouncing his name. That comes from the Madrid Castilla. That boy was incredible. Although he almost cost us a goal, being stupid, being very, very stupid. But that look at the save from Thibaut Courtois. That's why Thibaut Courtois is one of the best keepers I've ever watched in football. Haaland could not do anything. Rudiger had him on hold. Doku Doku actually did well. He was one of the ones that were really pushing. Semenyo really couldn't do anything. Savio really didn't do anything. So um yeah, Pep was stunned. Pep was stunned. So we have the advantage going into the second leg of the game, which would be held at the Etihad. Now, yes, we've won 3-0, but the job is not done because Manchester City definitely have the minerals and they have the players to come back to do a remontada, to actually score 3 goals in the first half at the Etihad. They have good players that can do that. So it's not we're not going to play some uh, mediocre team. This is still Manchester United and this is still Pep Guardiola. So Real Madrid, we just have to go there and finish it off. If we score 1 or 2 goals, I don't see them coming back. I don't see Manchester City coming back. So, but if we go there thinking that we already have everything in the bag, we'll be shocked, we'll be stunned. they will be stunned because Manchester City, they can turn up and easily score 4 goals in the first half. They have enough players to do that. So, do I see them doing that? No, I don't. But is it possible? Yes, it is possible with Manchester City. So that's really about it. They were dominated. They were dominated and they were stunned. Three world class goals by Federico Valverde, who is definitely my man of the match. So yes, that's really about it. What's his name? Arbeloa really outclassed and out tacticked um, Pep Guardiola. Arbeloa really, yeah, out tacticked, if that's a word, but he outcoached um, Pep on the day. And this thing, it happens. It happens. You guys need to stop doubting Real Madrid when it comes to the Champions League. I don't know when you guys will learn. You can doubt them when it comes to the league, the La Liga, but when it comes to Champions League, there's when it comes to Madrid, there's something really called Champions League heritage with them. That is why Real Madrid is the most successful football club ever. 15 Champions Leagues, 15 Champions League titles. No other team has done that. So you guys, need to you better learn. You will learn to stop doubting Real Madrid. This guy, we can do anything. So yeah, that's really about it, man. Let me know what your thoughts on the game was, who your man of the match was, and what you think the second leg. What your score prediction for the second leg at the Etihad. So if you watch the video to this very point, thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep it locked. Until next time, peace.